There are massive federal programs that were instituted in the late 1970s that pay states trillions of dollars to tear families apart. Like in Texas, we get 66 cents on the dollar put into the Texas Treasury for every dollar of child support that's paid. So the state is now highly incentivized to issue the maximum amount of child support. Almost all divorces got 50-50 prior to the 1980s, and there was this skyrocketing of divorces where one parent loses custody, and that was to maximize Title IV-D reimbursements to the states.
The state is profiting off of child support?
Correct. And in most states, the Judicial Retirement Fund is funded from this money. So the more child support that's issued from the family courts, the larger the judicial retirement. It's a massive program. It's the size of the largest defense programs. So the incentives are absolutely huge.
Even married people, to get them to break up and then have to pay each other child support?
Absolutely, yeah. So, because you would think the best child support would just be 50-50 custody and let people raise their kids. The best child support is to raise your own kid. That's the best child support. But they don't do that. Most states actually have laws prohibiting the courts from doing that. Texas has a family code in which it's assumed to be in the child's best interest that one parent get 24% of the time. And the reason 24% was chosen, precisely, is it maximizes Title IV-D reimbursement to the state at 24%. So there are fathers out there with 49% of the time that are paying maximal child support. I have a friend of mine, him and his wife came to an agreement to do 50-50 parenting, no child support, because he watches the kids a lot while she travels for her work. And so it all worked out, and they decided it's just better to do it this way. The state of Texas sent an attorney to argue in the case that they should not be allowed to do 50-50 custody.
I read a story about some celebrity guy who had to pay massive child support, and then he and the wife both went to the court together as friends and said, hey, he's no longer working and doesn't have this money anymore, so we both agree it should be lower, and the court said no.
They won't do it.
Because they get a cut.
They get a huge kickback, yeah. Title IV-E pays the states to adopt out orphans. Whenever CPS takes a child from someone and then adopts them into a good family, they get Title IV-E reimbursement funds, and it's a lot of money. It's like $50K per child.
The state gets that money?
Yes, it goes into the state budget.
And where does it come from?
Federal government.
Interesting.
Yep. Massive incentives to split up families. So now you have the majority of children in America are being raised in fatherless homes. We passed 50%.
It sure does seem like there is a system in place, whether intentional or not, to reduce the population.
But also to reduce the political power of the middle class. Right? If you've been to Europe, most of you have been to Europe. I've been to Asia a lot as well. Nobody cares about free speech there.
Yeah.
Nobody cares about gun rights there. There's one place in the world where people care about free speech and gun rights, and that's the American middle class.